certain rules and regulations that we need to follow, especially when we did the vegetable class. Also, I told you how to set up a workstation, how to stand, how to leverage the wrist, the elbow and the shoulder for cutting. I also introduced you to various knives which we generally use for cutting up of vegetables into different cuts. I also introduced you to the different knives that can be used to cut different types of cuts of chicken, different types of cuts of fish, etc., etc. And today, as you know, we will be doing poultry, which is basically the domesticated chicken, which is the domesticated chicken. So we will be doing that today, and with that, what we're going to do is we're going to do a few cuts of chicken, which I will be showing it to you. But before we go to the few cuts of chicken, I would like to speak to you regarding the availability of what kind of birds you can get, what is the specific weight, etc., etc., of the birds you generally get in the market. So before we go there, let me first kind of show you that we will be using a red colored chopping board today. As I told you in the last class that there are different color codes for different cuts of some are used for poultry, some are used for red meats, some color is used for vegetables, some color is used for cooked meats, like yellow is used for cooked meats, green is used for vegetables and fruits, white is generally used for dairy products in some places. In some places, white is also used for cooked vegetables, etc., etc. But today we will be using red chopping board, and we will be using a series of knives today. I showed you in the last class. We will be using a boning knife. I will be sometimes using this small carving knife, and I will also be in certain cases using this all-purpose knife, and in bigger cuts we will use the chef's knife. So we'll be primarily using these four knives today: the chef's knife, the carving knife, the smaller carving knife or turning knife or paring knife, and then we will be using a boning knife today, right? So what will be the cuts that we will be doing today? Now, first of all, let me kind of show you. There are two types of chicken that I have in front of me just now. You can see there are 1, 2, and 3 chicken which look little different, and there is a fourth chicken which looks a little different. Can you see the difference? You can just shake your head. I will be able to see you. See? Okay, so these are 3 different types of. These are 1, 2, and 3 different, and the fourth chicken is different. The basic difference between these two chickens is, these two types of chickens is, one has skin on top, one has still skin on top, and the last one does not have any skin. It is the meat. Okay, now if you look at the chicken that is generally sold in retail in India, most of the chicken is sold without skin. Okay, that means the chicken is without skin. What we call it, it has the feathers have been plucked and the skin has been removed from the chicken. So this is chicken which is skinless chicken. Now what you generally do is Pratham, yes, red for meat. Red is for raw meat. Okay. So now what will happen is, today when we are doing this cutting, we will basically start with the western cuts of chicken. Western cuts of chicken are called such, and they are called saute cuts of chicken. And these cuts of chicken, or western or saute cuts of chicken, are basically 1:6 or 1:8 cuts. That means one whole chicken will be cut into 6 different parts or it will be cut into 8 different parts. So basically the base says, the origin says 8 parts, but sometimes you also cut six parts out of a chicken. So if you look at this chicken, you will see what I have here in front of me is basically a bird which is called a poultry bird. It is a domesticated fowl, which is the chicken, and this is a chicken which is mostly white in color because it has been genetically modified. It has been genetically modified to grow faster. It has been genetically modified to come to a particular weight in a certain amount of time with certain amount of food, certain type of food. So this is the kind of chicken that you will get in the market with the skin on. So what I have is, I have this chicken which has got the wings, winglets and wing tips here. It has got a neck which is still connected to it. It has got these two legs, and then there are 2 parts of the breast which are there. And what we are going to do is, as I told you, I am going to start cutting this chicken into saute cuts. Saute cuts, S-A-U-T-E, saute cuts. Okay, so before I start cutting it into technically saute cuts, first what I will do is, I will first
Shefkak, you are muted.
मेरे को लगता है if you can let me change this.
Perfect, perfect.
The Indian way. Is this better?
Yes, perfect,
Or
sir.
the earlier one? Okay, great. So this way you will be able to see it closer. Just a little bit more down. Yes, now it's perfectly all right. All right. Now what we will do is, there is one anomaly in this chicken. Anomaly matlab gadbad. What is the gadbad in this chicken? Is whenever you buy this chicken, you will see that these two parts of the chicken which are undesirable, these 2 parts of the chicken are basically always stuck to the chicken. Even if we would not want it to be there in the chicken, because we are paying for it, and in the end, in the kitchen, in the hotel kitchen, you don't use these knuckles. These are called knuckles. Okay, we don't use these knuckles. Sometimes they are also called butts. Okay, so what we generally do is, we generally cut them. So let me start by cutting these knuckles. Now remember, you are seeing me cutting this, and you must be thinking, why isn't he using a big knife? He could have used a very big knife like the butchers are using. Why am I using a small knife like this? Why am I using a knife like this? Why not a butcher's knife? I could cut it in 2 minutes. But please understand, there is a lot of difference between chefs and butchers. Chefs, butchers don't know the biology, they don't know the anatomy of the animal. Chefs know the anatomy of the animal, they understand what is the structure of the bones of an animal, where do they start, where do they end, where do they join each other, where are the joints. So because we know where the joints are, that is why it is easier for me to cut exactly on the joint, because it's okay, exactly on the joints, because I know exactly where the joints are. That is why I was able to take out these 2 knuckles right at the joint. Okay, so it's very, very important. And remember that this method of cutting chicken, the way I am cutting it now, the Western style or the saute style of cutting chicken is called, you will not be surprised now after I have said this, it is called jointing. It is called jointing because it is basically talking about cutting chicken on the joints. So we will be cutting most of the chicken on the joints today. Even when I make the Indian style curry cut later on, I will try and make sure I am not breaking any bones at all. I am trying to cut all the chicken on the joints. Now the reason is, if I start breaking bones, what is going to happen? The bones have got bone marrow inside, and the bone marrow is red in color. And once I break the bones, and let us imagine I am making a sauce which is white in color, and the bones start bleeding, then what will happen is, we will have, instead of white, we will have a very bad colored sauce, right? So it's very, very important that you know exactly where to cut. Okay, now I am going to the next cut. Now I am just pulling in the wings of the chicken. It has got three parts. It has got a wing tip, it has got a wing, and it has got a winglet. Now the winglet is the connection of the wing to the breast, to the body. So what I'll do is, I will first cut the wing tip. Again, very nicely, without any effort, on the joint you cut a wing tip. I will show you the wing tip, how it looks like. It is a wing tip. It looks like this. It does not have too much of meat on top. It is basically the farther part of the wing which has got lot of feathers connected to it. It also has a small finger. Okay, it has a small finger. You know that birds develop from dinosaurs. So it also has a fifth finger here, all right, connected to its wings. Okay, so this is the wing tip. We turn the chicken over on the other side, and we take out the other wing tip. Okay, now there is no trick of how I can cut this chicken right at the joint. I will show you a little later how it is easy for you also to cut the chicken on the joint. Okay, so if I bring in the chicken a little closer to the camera, and I put my finger here, if you see the finger, if I remove the finger, there is a white, you see the white line there? Okay, this white line is the cartilage. It is also the connection between the two bones, the wings and the winglet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to now cut the wing out of the winglet. Okay, so how I will do that? Very simple, exactly like I did earlier. I will very nicely, very simply take out. I'm sure many of you who eat non-vegetarian, you know that these kind of wings are sold in KFC, etc., as hot and spicy wings. Shiny is saying yes. I think she loves hot and spicy wings. Right. Okay. So these are what are sold as wings. So I'm just going to, as of now, I'm going to leave the wings here, and then I'm going to the other side, and I'm going to cut the wings again, another side, another wing. Okay, so you get two wings from this chicken, and now I take all my attention towards the neck. Where do I cut the neck? Again, I bring this in front of you. I show you two lines, white lines here and here. You see these two white lines which are like a V. Okay, so exactly at that V, I will disconnect the neck from the rest of the body. So what I do is, I take this neck like this, and I find a joint in the neck somewhere closest to the body, so that I am not wasting too much. Okay, and I cut exactly like that. Okay, and as I said, we are cutting on the joint, we are not cutting on the bone. So the neck has gone, the neck is severed. So we will put the neck where it belongs. It belongs here. All right, and I'll put the wings where they belong, and later on we'll do something with these wings. Now what you need to do is, we need to now divide. Basically, before I divide before I remove the legs from this whole body, and I separate the chicken breast, So what I am going to do is, first of all, I am going to go here into the front here, and I am going to try and remove a bone which is called a V bone or a wishbone. A V bone, which is basically the collar bone. ये करेगा camera change. Okay, so if you see here on this side, this is fine. If you see here on this side and this side, there are two bones which are connected on top, here on top. Okay, this bone is called a wishbone. It looks like a V bone. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try and remove this wishbone and show it to you. There are two reasons for removing this wishbone. One very important reason is that if you don't remove the wishbone and you basically try to remove the chicken breast without removing the wishbone, you will end up leaving a lot of meat on the bone. So okay, and then I am just giving a cut here, doing nothing, just giving a cut, taking the cut all the way up, then giving a cut here on this side and taking the cut all the way up where the connection of the breast and the wishbone ends. And I showed you in the beginning, there were these two lines of fat. So I'm cutting exactly on those two lines of fat. And what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to basically remove this meat a little bit over the bone, and I'm going to expose the bone now. I'm going to expose the bone. The bone has been exposed. Unfortunately, the bone is already broken inside. Right? No problem. It generally happens in Indian style of cutting. I will still try and show you how the wishbone looks like. We will be cutting one more chicken, so we will try and take out wishbone from another chicken also, in case this does not come correct. Yeah, this seems to be already broken at the joint, but it's okay. I will still show you how it looks like. I have taken out one side of the bone and I am now taking out the other side. It is an exact natural V shape basically. So right. So it's gone. Let me clean it up a little bit, and then I will exactly show you how a wishbone looks like. And just a little bit of a trim the skin, otherwise you will not be able to see the bone clearly. The other one also needs a little cleaning so that you can connect it, we can connect it and you can see. Wonderful. So it is done, and I will put it into my hand and I will show you exactly how it looks like when it is on the chicken. This is exactly how it looks like, a V-shaped bone. Okay, this is also called sometimes called a wishbone. Okay, in the olden days when you wanted your assistants to cut the chicken properly, you would say that if you take out this bone, you will get the wish you want. So once you take out this bone, you can wish whatever you want and you will get it. So the chefs were very smart. They would say this to their assistants, and then the assistants would take out the wishbone, and in the end what would happen, the chef would be able to take out maximum chicken out of the breast. Otherwise most of the chicken pieces would remain on top of the bones. Okay, so this is the myth around the wishbone. So I'm going to leave the wishbone here. I'm going to put it into a platter. I'm going to share all these pictures with you in the later on after the class. Okay, and now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to now remove the chicken, the legs from the breast. So very simple, just as I told you, you can see this white line here. You can see the white line here. You know this white line, just on top of that white line you cut, so that you will be able to give enough skin to the breast and enough skin to the leg. And on the other side, of the chicken, which is the bottom side generally of the chicken, what you do is you put a straight line all through the chicken in the center. Put a straight line all through the center of the chicken. Now you know the chicken is divided into two parts, and then you basically push your thumbs in between and dislodge the joint. So what, there is a joint here, you know, the thigh joint, hip joint. You dislodge the hip joint, and now what we are doing is we will be now cutting the leg and drumstick from the main frame of the chicken. So how will we do that? Simple, just keep on pulling the leg of the chicken. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं एक दूसरे की टांग खींच रहा है. So we will keep on खिंचोing the tongue of the chicken slowly, steadily, and as we push our knife a little towards the end, the thigh and the leg of the chicken, the thigh and the drumstick of the chicken comes into your hand. Nice thigh and drumstick. Okay, I'll leave it here. And on the other side also we will do the same. You may not be able to see it now, but if you look here, if I can get it closer, there is a very big mound of flesh, which is around 10-12 grams of flesh meat, which is very lean. It has got no fat. This is called the oyster of the chicken. So what we need to do is we need to cut this oyster along with the leg. Otherwise, you will leave this beautiful piece of meat on the bone, and it will be of no use. It will straight away go into the stock where it is not required. The same way, we pull the leg across the joint. We have already dislodged the joint, and we have the next thigh and drumstick. Another beautiful piece. All right, now we come to the chicken breast. Okay, what we need to do is first, before we go to the chicken breast, we need to remove this part of the chicken along with the neck, the back, and the pelvis. This needs to be removed because this is not prime cut. It is not something for which a guest is going to pay us money. The reason is very simple. It does not have enough meat on it. It is mostly bone. It has got very little meat. So what we will do is, whatever good meat it has, we will remove that. Those are called trims. Okay, whatever extra meat, good quality meat that we can take out of this, which can be later on used for making what we call mince or keema. So we will use it, because in the kitchens you use keema for a lot of things, stuffing, etc., etc. Okay, we have made one stuffing already with keema, which we'll be using somewhere. So this is called a trim. Okay, so we will keep these trims on a plate wherever we have kept already. A few trims are already there. Now what I'll do is, there is a lot of excess fat here, which is not of no use to me. Okay, that excess fat I'm going to throw. I don't need it. Okay. And then what we will do is, now again, if you see, there is a natural seam here. This natural seam is white colored. You see this white colored seam here, natural? I will cut on that seam automatically till the wing. And what will happen? The carcass will come out automatically. I don't have to do too much of butchery big knife, etc., etc., no chopper, nothing, okay, it will automatically come off. So what I'll do is I just have to give a cut at the right place. Just take your knife inside the carcass and give a cut at the right place, and you don't have to cut through the bones at all. You end up cutting through the cartilage. Push like we did earlier, then go on to the other side. Go on to the, let me just put the drumsticks somewhere. Let me put them here for the time being so that my table is empty. Okay, then just pull it a little bit here, pull it a little bit here, take it to the neck. Okay, and again on the joint, on the other side, again on the joint. Okay, it takes a lot of experience to know exactly where to cut, because otherwise what will happen is you will not get a good balance of meat and bone when you are using it. Okay, now this part of the chicken which is basically used only for making stocks, etc., etc., is called carcass. Now before I go back to the breast, let me tell you, when I said this carcass does not have too much of meat, I was to a large extent right also, but I was to a little extent wrong also. Because if I still want to take out meat from this, okay, I can still take out meat. It may not be best quality prime meat, but it will still be meat. Okay, let's say imagine if you are running a smaller restaurant, you don't have the luxury, of buying your own mince, or for example, you are making, you like your restaurant has momos on the menu, and you have a lot of chicken that comes to the restaurant, and you don't want to buy separate chicken for the momos. You can take this chicken. This is not bad. This is again very good, nice, edible, juicy chicken. But at the same time, it cannot be served in a 5-star deluxe kind of a atmosphere. So this I again call trim, and I'm keeping this trim. You can imagine how much trim is coming out of one chicken. Okay, and rest of the chicken that I am keeping here, I will be calling it a carcass. So it is basically a carcass which is good enough to be used, in a stock, right? Okay, so if I show you this plate now, this plate has got carcass, this plate has got the neck, this plate has got the wing tips, this plate has got the trims, and this plate has got the knuckle, right? Sharon, are you awake? Are you awake? Are you liking it? Very good. Cynthia, you okay? Ah, yes, very good, excellent. So this is how you basically cut a chicken. We still have a long way to go to finish our actual cuts, which will be our saute cuts, which are basically the prime cuts that are used in the restaurant. This is all what we call a Hindi chant. Okay, but you can imagine how important these cuts are. I can make around 200 odd grams of mince from this. I can take out 2 liters of stock from this. Okay, I can utilize this in the stock. I can utilize the neck in the stock, and I have shown you one wonderful thing today, which we call the wishbone. Okay, which has a lot of history behind it. You can see this is the wishbone. Okay, which has a big history behind it, history and mythology both. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some pin bones from this carcass, which are of no use to me. These are some bones from the rib cage. Okay, these These are just pin bones, rubbish, which we don't want. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is very critical, which you need to understand. Because I promised you that I am not going to cut on the bone at all. So there is a little exception here now. For that, I will have to show you a little closer look. You see, this is cartilage. You know what is cartilage? You see, there is a little section of bone in between, which is called the bridge. And then again you have a cartilage. You see this red colored bone here? This is called the bridge. Like we have a nose bridge, we have a bridge on the nose. This is also called a bridge. And there is a cartilage on top, and there is a bridge in between. Now when I am telling you that, okay, now when I am telling you that I am going to cut all the chicken without breaking bones, this is going to be the only exception here. But because I am saying this is going to be an exception, I am still not going to use a chopper. Okay, I am still going to do it with this smaller knife that I am using, for cutting the chicken process. So what I will do is, I will first cut on the cartilage, so I am not cutting on the bone. And then what I will do is, as soon as I reach the bone, I will give a small nudge here. Okay, so what has happened? I will show you once we finally cut it. How does it look like in the center? Okay. Okay, now you can see cartilage, that small bridge, and cartilage again. So this is the only cut of the bone that I will do in a saute cut of chicken. Now this is a wonderful chicken breast. You can see a wonderful chicken breast with a bone alongside. Okay, so what we have now is here is saute cuts of chicken. Saute cuts of chicken where you have 2 drumsticks, you have 2 thighs, and you have 2 full chicken breasts with a wing. What we are going to do is, I am now going to divide them into 8 parts. Okay, so that I am going to do only after I clean up my table, because now I am going for the final classic cuts. Okay, final classic cuts. I am going to wash my knives once again. I am going to clean up my table, disinfect my table, and then start using. Always remember, whenever you are cutting chicken, you're cutting fish, you're cutting pork, beef, seafood, anything that is very susceptible to infections, to viruses, etc. You need to make sure that your chopping board is always clean, nice, cleaned and sanitized. Your hands are always clean. You regularly change your gloves, you sanitize your hands, which has become extremely important now. It was always important, but it has become extremely important now after this, pandemic, etc. In the hotels, it was always important. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these four cuts, big cuts that we have here, and then we are going to cut them into smaller ones so that we can finally reach that wonderful combination which we call saute cuts of chicken. This is the Western style cut of chicken, which is generally used very popularly in Europe, and anywhere wherever you are cooking continental kind of food, you generally use these cuts. Okay, so so let's first start with the thigh and the drumstick. Now, if you see inside the thigh and drumstick, there is another fatty line here. You see this line, okay, which is basically, this is my indication of where to cut, where to divide the drumstick and the thigh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife, take the cue from this natural division and cut. So it's almost like as if you are cutting butter with a hot knife. Okay, so I have already made a drumstick and I have already made a wonderful looking thigh. Okay, so thigh and drumstick. The same we will do with this. A thigh and a nice drumstick and a thigh. So I leave this here again and the drumstick goes here, and then I take the breast, for one breast, and if you remember, we had a cartilage, a section of cartilage here, this white cartilage. So without cutting on the bone and directly cutting on the cartilage, I'm going to divide this breast into two. I've divided this breast into two parts. You can see these two parts. One is with the winglet, and another is the tip, which is called the breast tip, the tip of the breast, which is a triangular shape. So this goes here and the breast tip goes here. I will take this another breast, again cutting it on the cartilage. Again the same cut. This goes here and the breast tip goes here. So what we have now is basically this, two drumsticks, two thighs, two tips of the breast, and two breast tops with winglets. So this is called a saute cut of chicken. Now what will happen is, if you see a picture somewhere on internet about saute cuts of chicken, sometimes you will see these two wings have been kept inside the picture, right? And that is just because to show you that these two wings also belong to the chicken and they should not be wasted. But actually this is what we call saute cuts of chicken. Okay, and these wings will not get wasted. We will be using them. We will be doing something wonderful with them in a moment. Okay, so I will keep it on the other side. I will not keep it here. I will keep it where it belongs. Wonderful. So we have this plate which has all the trims, and we have this plate which has the prime cuts of meat. So imagine from one chicken we have taken out so much. A small chicken, almost 900 to 1000 grams. Okay, this is how much we have taken out, and what all utility we can take out from this chicken. Right, so this is it. Now we go to the second part of the chicken with the skin, which I am going to use for making boneless chicken with skin, and we are also going to make another couple of important cuts from this. But before, you need to do the basic cutting. Again, it is a revision for all of you. Wing tips, wings, knuckles. You know, the drier the chicken, the better, the easier to cook cut. Okay, now the neck. Okay, I will try and do the exercise on the wishbone once again. But before that, let me remove this extra fat, etc., from here. We're just trying to clean it up so that we have a clear place to. Okay, again, like we did earlier, I'm going to make an incision for the wishbone here. One incision towards the bottom, one towards the top. And I think I'm optimistic. I think this is in condition. This is not broken. The reason for the wishbones, mostly wishbones broken in India, is because they pull the chicken. When they remove the skin, they pull the chicken, and because of that, a lot of sensitive bones end up breaking. Those of you who go to the market and buy chicken, you must have seen that how they pull the chicken when they are actually removing the skin. Okay, this seems to be good. Turn up. Yes. Now let's pull this. Let's take this out now. We have to make sure that we leave all the meat that is there on the carcass, so that we take out only the bone. Yes, now we got it completely full and nice. It invariably happens that when you are cutting two chicken, you will see that out of two, one chicken has got, the bone is broken, and the another chicken, it's generally okay. So that's why I thought, let me take another try. All right, fantastic. You can see it now, right? This is how it originally looks like. The earlier one was broken. Okay, you can see it looks like a V or whatever you call it. This is the base which comes on top, and the 2 bones are attached to 2 breasts on the side. So I'm going to keep it here again on the other side. Okay, so the trim goes here, and now again we cut on the side. Cut on the side. So this is the actual speed at which you can cut the chicken. Okay, when you have experience, when you have cut for a long time, when you've done practiced for a very long time, this is actually the speed at which you can do it. I'm still going a little slower. I can do it a little more faster, just to show it to you so that you know exactly what is happening. As I told you, just pull and this comes out automatically. As I said, without breaking any bones, we're just cutting on the joints. On the other side, and the neck, the carcass is here, and the breast is here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to keep the carcass aside, because we have already seen all these parts. I'm going to keep the wing tip aside. I'm going to keep the wings with me because now we will do something with the wings. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first debone the chicken breast. So how do you debone the chicken breast? Just make a nice, sharp knife. Can you all see what I am doing? Okay. Can we start that? I think that will be better. Okay, this will be better to see this cut. That's why I took it. So just give a simple cut in the center of the 2 breasts. There is a bone. You will know exactly where to give the cut. Very close to the bone. Very close to the bone. Now that we have the wishbone out, so all the meat is automatically going to come out. You see the meat is already coming out, divided into 2 parts. Okay, and we just have one more joint to negotiate, and then everything will get open automatically. So just pull it, make sure that you're taking all the meat with you. You're not leaving anything on the bone. So this is a boneless chicken breast. And there is a very big gift inside this chicken breast, which I am going to show you after some time. There is a gift that comes along with taking out the chicken breast. Okay, another cut like the one we did earlier. Okay, and go all the way through down. Don't leave any meat. Take all the meat with you. Go all the way up to the joint. Cut the joint. And the breast is loose. Pull it, keep on pulling. Another breast. Now I will talk. Okay, now we have this carcass, slightly different. Okay, because we cut the breast, we took out the legs from it earlier, right? So I will use the trim somewhere. And now I was telling you that there is a gift which is hidden underneath the breast. If you look at this breast and you take this, and you don't have to use your knife. You just pull this out like this. Okay, pull it out like this. I'll show you once again. You just pull this piece of meat out, and it is a fantastic stream of chicken. This is also called the fillet of chicken. This is the most tender part of the chicken which comes from under the wing. Okay, so this is called a supreme of chicken. I'm going to pull it out from the other one also just now. Just give me a second. Okay, again. Okay, look at this from the top of the breast. You pull, and automatically there is a supreme that comes out from here. Okay, it's a nice piece of chicken, a supreme. It is the most tender part of chicken. All right, so what we have now is a breast of chicken which is deboned, which does not have any bone. It only has this wing which is attached to it, and I will tell you why this wing is attached to it. But before that, let me first from one of the breasts I will remove this wing from one of the breasts, so that we have a boneless, completely boneless breast. Okay, so if you see what is in my hand now, I have a complete boneless breast with skin on. Okay, and this will go into my, okay, I will put it here, and later on we will, this is the, okay, we will put it into a separate plate. Okay, I'm going to put it into a separate plate. So you can see it's a very beautiful plump deboned breast of chicken. Okay, with the other breast of chicken, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this drum also here. And with the other breast of chicken, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to trim it a little bit. When I say trim, I mean all that extra fat, etc., etc. I will trim, put that in with the trim. I will also trim some fat here from the side, extra fat, throw this. And now what I'm going to do is, this process that I'm going to do now is called Frenching. F-R-E-N-C-H-I-N-G. It is called Frenching. What is Frenching? Frenching is the process of removing meat and skin from a bone, and it still remains connected to the main part. So the main part is the chicken breast now. And we will French this bone in such a way that it still remains connected to the breast, but it is cleaner. And it is a very French phenomenon. The French to clean the bone so that they could pick up the chicken breast or piece of meat with that bone, which has to be very clean. And most of the times the French would also make paper decorations, because this when you put this bone into oven, this bone would generally turn dark, and they would put paper covers on top of this bone, and when they were serving it. Okay, so just once you have finished taking out the chicken, taking out the meat from this bone, just pull it up and give a trim. And what I have with me is basically that meat which was there on the bone, and what I have with me now is a bone which is completely devoid of any meat. There is no meat. This is called a Frenched bone. Okay, what is it called? If you say, I will be able to see Frenched bone. Yes, Frenched bone. It's called a Frenched bone. So we will be keeping it here. We call this a Frenched chicken breast. Okay, now what we are going to do now is we have this thigh and this drumstick. This thigh and this drumstick is still there. And what we are going to do with this thigh and this drumstick is something very interesting we will make from this, which is called a ballotine. What is it called? Ballotine. 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 Okay, ballotine is basically a stuffed leg of chicken. So how we will do stuffed leg of chicken? For stuffing a leg of chicken, first we have to remove the bone. Without removing the bone, we will not be able to stuff the chicken. So what we will do is first we will do removal of the bones. How you do removal of the bone? First you clean your table. All right, now look at this. This is the bone and this is the bone. There are two bones. And again, if you see, again there is a line here, you know, natural line, natural seam here, white colored natural seam here. I'm going to cut inside the skin on the same seam. But before that, I have to cut this bone. Okay, always remember the thigh has got only one bone, which is the femur. जो ह्यूमंस के अंदर में फीमर होता है वही एक बोन होता है थाई के अंदर में, और जो नीचे वाला जो ड्रम स्टिक है उसके अंदर दो बोन होता है. The drumstick has basically the tibia and fibula, two bones. One is a thick bone and one is a thin bone. I will show you both of them. First we will take out the femur. Okay, so from the side of the bone I gave a cut, and now what I am doing is I am pushing the meat down. I am pushing the meat down with my knife and I am pulling the bone. The bone is in my hand, I am pushing the meat down. Okay, whatever meat is there, I am going to completely dry out the bone because I don't want to waste any meat. As soon as I reach the joint, I keep on pushing the meat down. As soon as I reach the joint, I keep on pushing the meat down till the time I reach another bone and one of the bones is free. The first bone, the femur, is free. I will show you this once again. All the bones I will show you once again. And now you can see the first part of the thigh, which is the thigh, is now without bone. You can see this cavity where the bone was. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to go into the other bone. So how I will do it? Very easily I will find out the bone and I will keep on giving cuts around the bone. Keep on giving cuts around the bone. Okay? Be careful, because whenever you're cutting, it's important that you don't cut your hand. Okay? And it's important that you always hold the meat when you are cutting something which is risky. Keep on holding the meat, and then once you are done with it, hold the bone and go down like we did earlier. Okay, now you remember, I will remind you, we have two bones here. One is a very thin bone. If you don't remove that bone at this stage, you know what is going to happen? That bone is going to remain inside, and people will think you are giving them boneless chicken, and they are going to bite into that chicken and it is going to get stuck to their throat. It is such a fine, it's almost like a fish bone. It's going to get stuck to the throat and people will sue you in the court of law. Okay, so what I do now is very, very important. First, I'm going to take out this small bone to show it to you. I'm going to pull that bone out first to show it to you. Okay, then I will do one very important activity. छोटा होता है ये हाथ में भी रहता है. All right, see, this is what I was talking about. Okay, if it remains inside the meat, you will never know it is there. And once you bite into it, it's going to get stuck to your mouth or your throat or somewhere it's going to go. So it's very important that this bone is removed first. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this bone, which I'm left over with, you know what I'm going to do with it? I need this connection. I need this knuckle to remain, this cartilage to remain on the bone. I will show you why later on. Because once I turn it over, you will understand. Okay, so what I need to do is, with one crush of the knife, I need to remove this bone so that there are no broken pieces of the bone left. Okay, for that I have to take a heavy knife. So what I do is, I take a heavy knife, position it, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the bone is gone. The bone is here. Okay, I don't have any broken pieces of bone on the meat here. Right, I have a completely sliced bone here. Now I tell you why. Why did I need to do this? For this, I will have to turn over the chicken. If you see the piece of chicken that we have cut now without the bone, okay, this is the top part of the bone which I have left. Now, when I am, because this is a ballotine, this is a ballotine that I am making. Now, when I am stuffing this ballotine, I have a stuffing made of meat mince, okay, and herbs and spices. And when I am stuffing this, if I did not keep this bone on top, what would happen? The stuffing would come out of from the top. Okay, so this I am using as a cork, and I am pushing in this stuffing. I'm pushing in this stuffing, pushing in, pushing in. And now I can put in as much as stuffing as I want into this. Okay, now once the stuffing is like this, you see the stuffing is already gone inside, it has already formed. And now what I can do is, I can just push the stuffing a little bit more towards inside, and then whatever is left on the outside, I can tie it up. I can tie it up, I can put some toothpicks and attach it, or then in the end it is going to look like this. It is going to look like exactly like this, and this is called a ballotine. Okay, a ballotine can also be made from a breast of chicken. Generally, it is made from leg of chicken, but you can also stuff a breast of chicken. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove these bones now, and I'm going to put this ballotine of chicken here. So what happens is, before I go ahead, can you show the PPT? Okay, chef is now going to show you a PPT. Chef Prashant is going to show you the PPT. So what I want you guys to see now is, whatever we have done till now, you know, what kind of dishes can we make out of the products that we have cut till now. Okay, I will take a water break, and while Chef Prashant is showing you the PPT, I will also keep on explaining to you as to what all is there on the PowerPoint. Chef Prashant, over to you. All right. You see the first one, saute cuts. I told you in some pictures you will see the wings attached, but those are not prime cuts of meat. Other than the prime cuts, you will see there are two thighs, there are two drumsticks, there are four pieces of the breast, two tips and two tops. Okay, so this is called saute cuts of meat, and on the left hand side you will see a dish which is a classic dish made out of sauté chicken, which is called poulet sauté chasseur or chicken chasseur. This is also called hunter's chicken. Then we see a breast of chicken, which we are going to use in a moment, but this is a breast of chicken which has got no stuffing. It is a straight cut breast of chicken which has been grilled and maybe marinated with some honey and Worcestershire sauce and then grilled. You can see it's nice and plump. Then we come to chicken ballotine. This is exactly what I showed you just now. Okay, and on the left hand side you will see the ballotine has been roasted and it has been cooked. And inside, if I cut the ballotine, you will see exactly it will look like the one that is there on the screen on your left hand side now. Okay, then I showed you the thigh and the drumstick separately, which we have also kept, and then the drumsticks can be, they are very difficult to cook. The drumsticks need a lot of attention while cooking. They are generally cooked in the oven first. First they are marinated, you have to give some gashes on top, then they are marinated, kept in marination very long time. You must have seen in many times you go to a tandoor shop and you order for tangdi. When you bite into a tangdi, there is blood there. That means it has not been thawed properly. That means it has not been cooked properly. So the drumstick needs some attention while cooking. Okay, this is exactly what we are going to do a little later from now. I'm going to show you how to stuff a breast, and I'm also going to show you how to make lollipops. So before we go ahead, just a little bit. Yeah. So let us leave it here and we'll come back again to the presentation a little later. Sab theek thak hai? What's the time? It's 3:15. All right. So before I go to the lollipop, let me first show you how to stuff a chicken breast. Now, the question is, irrespective of whether the chicken breast has a bone attached to it, like we have a bone here attached to it, or we don't have a bone attached to it, does not matter. The process of stuffing a chicken breast is the same. Now I am going to show you two processes. Okay, I'm going to, in this breast, I'm going to show you a modern process which is easier to do, and also you can put in a lot of stuffing inside, and there are no chances of the stuffing coming out. Okay, I'm going to show you one process in this, and another process I'm going to show you here in the one that we have with the bone, which is a traditional process. But the problem with this traditional process is, although you can stuff a lot, but then, you know, in case you have stuffings like cheese and vegetables, etc., when you put it into the oven, they all tend to come out. So let me first show you the traditional method of cutting the chicken and stuffing the chicken breast. Okay, so the traditional method is, you take the chicken breast like this, keep it parallel. Okay, I need to just wash my hand. Okay, so keep it parallel to your hand. Okay, then take a knife and run your knife, basically run your knife through the side of the chicken breast. Start from the top and run your knife all through the chicken breast. The tip of the knife is going inside the chicken breast now. Okay, you run your knife like this. So what has happened is you have actually created a pocket inside the chicken. Okay, you have created a pocket inside the chicken breast. You can see. Okay, sometimes if you open up, if I show you, if I open it up completely, because anyway we are not doing anything with this. If you open it up, okay, what does it look like? You people are so naive. What does it look like? Other than a leaf, does it look like something else? Beetle leaf. Okay, yeah, it's looking like a leaf. Okay, if you shape it up, if you shape it up a little bit here, it may look like a heart also sometimes. Okay, right? So this is the traditional method of. Okay, now if I have to stuff it, what I'll do is I will put the stuffing inside, and I will turn it over like this and press so that the stuffing is all through the chicken. Okay, so this is one. But remember, if you try it at home, make sure that the stuffing does not have cheese, because if there is cheese in the stuffing, it will melt and it will come out from the side. There is another way of stopping that from happening. Once you seal this chicken, once you put the stuffing inside, take some beaten egg. Okay, take some beaten egg and brush the beaten egg here on the side. What will happen is once it starts cooking at around 60-70 degrees, the egg is going to coagulate and it is going to seal the place. Okay, and then the stuffing will not come out. But now today what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you one more method of stuffing the chicken breast. Okay, that is you can say a little modern method, because what happens is it is easier to fill up a lot of stuffing and roll up the chicken breast nicely so that it gets a nice round shape like you saw on the picture. Okay, so how you do that is, okay, so what you do is you keep the chicken breast like this. You keep the chicken breast like this, and you take the knife and you push the knife inside from the top of the chicken breast, and continuously keep some pressure on top of the chicken. Keep some pressure and push your knife as much as you can till the end of the knife. Remove the knife a little bit, turn it around, push it from the other side. Okay, so what you have a huge pocket. You have a huge pocket inside the chicken, and now you don't have a problem of this stuffing coming up. So what you do is you I can fit in at least twice the amount of stuffing that I could fit into the into the chicken that I did earlier. Baking powder इसी को डाल देते हैं ना उसमें. Wait. Because this mince has been sitting here in the piping bag for a very long time, so it has got a little dry. Okay. Yes. Okay now. So you can see I'm keeping on stuffing it, and I'm not still reaching the end. Okay. And now what I can do is I can actually roll this up. I can actually roll this up into a nice looking roll. And if I want to roast it, if I want to, I'll just pick it into my hand and show it to you. Right, this is where I stuffed it from. This is where I stuffed it from. Okay, and this is a very small hole. Okay, and nothing will come out of this hole once this is pinched nicely. And this is a nicely stuffed breast of chicken. We stuffed the other one also. We stuffed the other one also, but that there is a possibility of the stuffing coming out. But where there is no possibility of the stuffing coming out at all. But you have to make very sure that when you are cooking this chicken breast, when you are cooking this chicken breast, you are making sure that the stuffing that you are putting inside, you know how much time it will take to cook. Otherwise, what will happen is your chicken will remain, the stuffing will remain raw, or and then once the guest cuts into it, you will see that he will find the stuffing to be completely raw inside. Right, so that is about stuffing. Now we go to another interesting. Okay, so now we go to another interesting one. I'm sure it's going to be interesting for all of you because you like eating such things. And one of this thing that I'm going to do with you is called the lollipop. Okay, so what we have wings. You don't actually need to use any knife for cutting wings. I'm just trying to disconnect the okay, one more. I'll show you both. We don't need a knife for making a lollipop actually, but just to make it seem a little easier, I'm just trimming out. So what happens is very simple. If you can do with a hand, wonderful. If you can't do, I may tell you the easiest way to do it is with a duster. So this is a duster. You know chicken wings. Okay. So what you do is you can also do it with a drumette, which is connected to the breast. So what you do is actually you take the wing in your hand, and you pull down the skin, and there are two bones. I will show you so you understand exactly what I am talking about. You can see these two bones. There are two bones. The big bone will stay. This bone will stay, but the smaller bone has to come off. Okay, because we need only one bone. So what we are doing is we are just pulling the skin down, pulling the skin down. Okay, pulling the skin down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out one of the bones. So what I've done is I pulled out one of the bones. One of the bones is gone, right? Okay, the other bone is in my hand, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out all the meat that was there on the bone, and look at this. This is called a lollipop. Okay, so what you do is you put it into a batter, you marinate it, you fry it, you can toss it into a Shandong style or a Peking style or a Beijing style, etc., etc. So this is called a lollipop. I will again show you one more. One more. Take the duster. Start with the smaller bone, okay, and then go to the bigger bone. Make sure that all the meat is disconnected from the bone. Remove one of the bones first, the smaller one. The bone has come out. Keep it. Then give attention to the bigger bone. Pull out all the meat. all the meat now. The bone is empty. Okay, you can clean up. You can clean up the top. There is a cartilage there. Okay, you can clean up so that it looks nice and neat. ये गिरेगा, ये गिरेगा, ये गिरेगा. Okay, so this is a lollipop. Okay, let me tell you, you can also make lollipop from the wings. Yes, you can make lollipop from the wings also. Luckily, the wing has only one bone. Okay, so you can also make, but that is a huge lollipop. Okay, that is too much of a meat in a finger food. So normally you make it from the wings. Okay. Now, okay, just a second. Where do I have an extra drumstick? Right. So इधर तो है. I was wondering I should have one more. Okay. Now look at this. Wings, lollipop, drumstick. This is the unstuffed one, and the thigh. Okay, so these are another 4 important cuts. Okay, these are again prime cuts. You cannot, but except for the wings, of course, lollipop is now almost a prime cut. It is used in as a single finger starter, etc., quite frequently. So this is the one, and on the other side, what we have is the supreme of chicken, which we took out from under the breast, and we have this stuffed breast. What I'm going to do now is I am going to do a French drumstick. Okay, I have another chicken, which I'm going to only use the leg. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do another one, which is very interesting. You know, it is actually it started with lamb. This cut of chicken was not made earlier. It started with lamb. Actually, people started doing this with small lamb, leg of lamb, and then there is a specific dish which is made from this cut, which I'm going to make now. It's called ossobuco. Okay, ossobuco. Ossobuco is basically a gravy, a stew, a thick stew, which is made with the small leg of lamb. But now what has happened is with time, people have started, as the chicken started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, people have started making ossobuco also with the thigh of chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take out the thigh and drumstick, remove the drumstick, the thigh from the drumstick, leave it here on the side first. And then what I'm going to do now is I am going to do the Frenching of this drumstick. You remember when we did Frenching of that earlier chicken? When we made this French breast of chicken, I'm going to do the Frenching of this. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the connective tissues. You know, there are connective tissues in the chicken which are white in color, which are very tough. They cannot be eaten, they cannot be chewed. Okay, and it is in all the meats that is made out of a material which is called elastin. Okay, these white these white connective tissues are made from, you see this white, it looks like a rubber band, isn't it? Okay, this is called elastin. This is made from a material called elastin. ये chewing gum की तरह होता है. इसको अगर आप खाओगे तो ये कभी digest नहीं होता. What is the difference between a stew and a steak? Okay, I have a question here from Manav, who wants to know what is the difference between a stew and a steak. A stew is a dish which is very watery, which is very liquid. Okay, and a stew can be a combination of many different things together, whereas a steak is something like this. A steak is a part of the meat, a solid part of the meat which is cooked by the process of grilling or roasting or barbecuing. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm disconnecting these connective tissues which are made out of elastin, as I told you, and they are not very pleasant to eat. They look like chewing gum. Okay, and going to clean up this completely. I will remove some more connective tissues with the scissor or the kitchen shear so that there is no connective tissue there. See this? Okay, this is basically the drumstick of chicken where the bone has been completely devoid of any meat, and as you cook it in the oven, what is going to happen is it is going to slowly steadily remain erect, and you can serve it with any sauces. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now leave it here. It is also called ossobuco at times. That is what is called the ossobuco of chicken. All right, so to a large extent, we are done with the Western style or the continental style or the Southeast style of chicken, and we are also done with the decorative cuts of chicken now. So what we are going to do now is, if I have to I have to tell some Indian in an Indian language, अब हम क्या करेंगे? तो I will say अब हम देसी स्टाइल में चिकन काटेंगे. Desi style में. Does that make you smile? Desi style. Okay, so we will now cut chicken with the Desi style. Okay, what is Desi style? I will still not use that big chopper which the butcher uses. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the chicken into Asian curry cut style. Asian curry cut style. Okay, this is a chicken which is as the chicken is sold in the market. Okay, so I will first remove all the extras from this chicken. That means extra fat, extra skin. Make it clean so that it is nice and trim. Because what happens is the Asian curry uses almost all the parts of the chicken, except for, of course, the knuckles. We also eat knuckles at home. Asians, Indians eat knuckles. In China, Thailand, people eat knuckles. So there is nothing aversive about eating knuckles. Because we like cooking with bone. So you can see the wing tip. Again, abhi tak cutting is the same as we were doing earlier. There is no difference in the cutting. The wings, the only difference is there is no skin. Wings के ऊपर थोड़ा सा skin है. Okay, automatically. And now what I'm going to do is, because you know that when we cut in chicken Indian style, there are a lot of things that we do not throw, that we do not use, we do not call them, non-prime meat. So what we will do is, like in the earlier chicken, what we did, we cut only the legs from here, we left all the bone. But now what we are going to do is, we are going to basically cut the legs completely from the backbone, along with the backbone. We are going to cut the legs completely along with the backbone. So what I have with me now, for a trimming kar lete hain. Too much of fat. What I have with me now is 2 drumsticks, 2 thighs, and a part of the pelvic bone here. This is a pelvic bone, and you remember I told you there are 2 reservoirs of meat here, which we call oysters of chicken. Okay, these are also a part of this whole piece of chicken. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to turn this over, and of course I'm going to clean up the entrails of the chicken from here. So what I'll do is, I'll use a knife, combination of knife and fingers, to clean this, so that there is no entrail and the chicken, and I'm going to clean it up, wash it before I finally cut it into curry cut. I will take it to the tap and wash. Okay, you can see the chicken is now clean inside, and I am taking out the trim, no wastage, we will use this. Okay, now what we are going to do is, we are going to cut this chicken. We're going to cut this chicken from here, from the joint straight. Okay, I have left those oysters on the pelvis bone. So what I'm doing is, I'm cutting it like this, straight. So you see, now the thighs don't look like they looked earlier. Now they are smaller. Okay, because I have left half of the thigh after the joint on the pelvic bone, and now look at the pelvic bone. Okay, it has got those 2 big oysters of meat. It has got 2 more pieces of meat. So I'm going to utilize this as a part of the curry, because the curry is generally, the Asian curry cut is generally 16 pieces. Imagine we made 8 pieces from the saute cut, and from here we're going to make 16 pieces. The process is the same. Cut on the line, that white line. So I have the thigh and I have the drumstick. So what I do with the drumstick, because we're cooking Indian style, I give some cuts on the drumstick, like we do for tandoori, tangdi, etc., so that it cooks easily. And I can also give a couple of cuts on the thigh. But I will leave the thigh here. I will keep the drumstick on the plate first. Again, I will cut another drumstick and thigh. The drumstick goes on the plate with a little cut here and a cut there. And the thigh remains here. I'm leaving the thigh here. Now what will happen is, you can't give such a big piece for a curry. Can you give such a big piece for a curry, Sneha? Such a big piece? Can it be given for a curry? So what we will do is, as promised to you, we will not cut on the bone. The normal tendency would have been to use a big knife and cut on the bone like this. I will show you. I will cut one like that, and the one I will cut with the new technique. Okay, so first one I will cut with a big knife like a butcher would do. Okay. So what has happened? You have exposed the bone. You have exposed the bone marrow, right? So what will happen now is when I am cutting, I am not cutting on the bone. I am cutting parallel to the bone. Parallel to the bone. So what has happened? Two pieces of meat are there, but the bone is not broken. The bone is whole. Okay, so I have used two different techniques to cut curry cut from the thigh. One is this and one is the other. Okay, now we go to the thigh, to the pelvic bone. Now depending on what is your choice of cutting the pelvic bone, you can either cut it like this or you can cut it like this. So I will cut it breadth-wise because that gives me a balance of meat. Okay, but the problem is I will have to obviously cut through the bone. Use a bigger knife. You know, even in the hotel, you still can't use this part as a prime cut. But now that you have so much of meat on it, you can use it in a curry, in a wedding, in a banquet, etc., etc. So I always consider this as a part of the curry system. Then we take our attention back to that breast piece that we had left. But before that, what I'm going to do is I have to first remove the carcass. So what I'm doing is, if you see, I'm just giving a small cut like this with a Teda knife here, and what is happening? The carcass is automatically coming clear. The carcass is automatically coming clear because now I don't necessarily have to cut on the joint. So what has happened? The neck and the smaller carcass has come out. I don't need that bigger carcass now because that carcass has gone into the pelvis. So I have the neck and a smaller carcass here. Couple of bones which can later on become dangerous. Those are the shoulder bones of the chicken. And if you wish, you can also remove those cartilages that I showed you in the earlier chicken that we removed with the scissor. If you want, you can remove them. If you want, you can leave them. You know, because we are cutting hotel style, we are cutting hotel standard, so we will always cut this. But at home, you can leave it exactly the way it is. And now, as I showed you earlier, and as I promised you in the beginning, because we will be cutting different from how a butcher cuts, we have come back to that stage where we said we have to negotiate this cartilage in the middle of the breast, which we negotiated earlier, which we cut earlier, and with a snap. Right, so what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to use a big knife. I'm going to cut on the cartilage first, and I'm going to just give a snap, and I'm going to cut between these two breasts. You can again see, like in the beginning, we saw this. No, not necessarily. If you want to use scissors, you can. If you don't want to use, you can still do it with a knife. Or because I showed it to you just now, by cutting those small cartilages, you actually don't need to cut them, right? Because now, if you see inside the breast, it's clean. But if you did not cut those cartilages, you know, it would have had those smaller bones in the center, right? So again, cutting on the cartilage, the first cut, as we cut in the earlier one, and the second cut is also on the cartilage. So we have cut 3 pieces out of this chicken breast now. 1 piece, second piece, and third piece. Okay, now you will see that these pieces are not balanced. All our pieces are generally this size. Just a second, I'll get this closer. Can you shift it just? You see, our pieces are almost similar sized. You can see these pieces, and if I put the tip of the breast, it is also similar piece. But if I put this piece here, it is going to be huge. So what you do is you actually divide the piece as per the amount of meat that is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one piece like this from the breast and another piece like this. So you have two similar pieces from the breast. I will keep it exactly the way it was in nature. Okay, now again on the cartilage, big piece again goes for a trim. You put this piece here. Okay, this one goes at the bottom. Actually, this is the tip. This is one tip. This is another tip. The main goes here, and this goes here on top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We will need 2 more pieces to make it 16, and we can cut these 2 pieces into 2 more pieces to make it 18. Okay, our basic curry cut is ready. This is our basic curry cut. But if I want to convert it into 18, what I need to do is I need to just cut these wings. I will cut one of it and one of it I will leave like that. So you have to leave this, or you can cut the wing and the breast out of it. This is an Asian curry cut chicken. Okay, Asian curry cut chicken is generally 16 pieces, as I have written here 16, but you can convert it into 18, you can convert it into 20, 24, depending on the size that you require. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the cutting session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now line it up all here on the table, and I'm going to show you one final look. I'm going to show you one final look of if you remember last time when we discussed, I told you you put a duster under your chopping board, okay, so that it is balanced. Okay, now one by one, I'm going to place this like this, and I'm going to take pictures later on, and I'm going to share these pictures with you. Yeah, just okay. So you can say आज के दिन का काम, ये हमारा आज के दिन का काम है, right? So I will start with the saute cuts. The saute cuts 1:8 Western style cutting of chicken. We have 2 drumsticks, we have 2 thighs, we have the breast divided into 4 pieces. Okay, on the cartilage, no cutting of the bone. Then we come to Asian curry cut. This is 16 or 18 cuts where you have 2 drumsticks completely there. You have 2 pieces extra from the pelvic bone. You can or cannot have those pieces. Other than that, the chicken is exactly the same, but the only difference is that some part of the carcass has come into the curry, which is basically depending on your requirement of the chicken. Then along with that, what we have is, I would like to show you this first. Along with that, what we have is, we have these wings, okay, and we have this lollipop. I showed you how to take out the lollipop. This is the thigh with skin. This is a drumstick with the skin on. Then what we did with the drumstick is, you must have seen, we made a French drumstick out of the drumstick. We stuffed the chicken breast, and we took out these nice, they are sometimes called fillets also, but basically called chicken supreme. We took out these nice chicken supremes from under the chicken breast. We stuffed the chicken breast, we stuffed the chicken leg, deboned chicken leg, and we call it ballotine, and this is called a French chicken breast because it has a French bone on top. And then along with that, what we have is this plate which is completely usable except for the wishbones. This and this can be easily used in a stock. Okay, they can be used. We can take out the nutrition from this and put it into the stock. Even this bone can be used in the stock. And this trim which is there on the side can always be used for making mince, keema. You can make keema out of this trim. So you can make trim out of this. You can make mince out of this trim. All right. So I am opening up the chat. Prashant Chef is there on the chat. In case you have any specific questions, you can ask me now, and I will answer. It will be a pleasure to answer the questions, as usual. We don't have the option of connecting a mic in this computer, so you will have to write on the chat.
There are both pieces of Asian curry.
Tell about the
Pieces of Asian curry.
Okay, so Asian curry cut. Somebody wants to see the pieces of Asian curry cut. Look at this. There are 2 drumsticks. There are the thighs which have been divided into 4 pieces: 4, 2 and 2, 4 and 2, 6. Then you have the breast, which is actually divided into 4 pieces, but then because the pieces are too big, this chicken was very big, so we divided it into 4 pieces. So we have 2 pieces of the top breast, 2 pieces of the bottom breast, and then we have this wing, right, along with the breast. So we have 2 and 2, 4 and 2, 6 and 2, 8 and 2, 10 and 2, 12. 12 and these 4 pieces of the tip of the breast and 2 pieces from the pelvic bone. Now, if you remove this pelvic bone, 2 pieces of the pelvic bone, you actually get 16 cuts, 16 pieces. But if you leave these 2 pieces of the pelvic bone, you get 18 pieces of the chicken curry cut.
How much time does it take for each piece to cut?
How much time does it take for each chicken to cut? If you are a professional and you have been practicing for a long time, you can cut. Prasada. नहीं
40 minutes.
हाँ इसको नहीं ये गलत हो गया या नहीं बंद हो गया sorry some malfunction. So if you are an expert means if you are experienced enough, you have really cut chicken for a long time. One bird, depending on what cuts you are taking, can maximum take 2 to 3 minutes to cut, not more than 2 to 3 minutes, right? One bird, even if you are taking, especially because what happens is when you are cutting chicken in bulk, you are either doing deboning of chicken, you are either cutting curry cut, or you are either cutting saute. So your hand automatically starts becoming faster and faster as you go ahead each day, okay? And then you know exactly where you are cutting. With experience, you also know where the connections are, you know where the joints are, etc., etc. So automatically you can make it faster and faster and faster.
Why do we give cuts on the leg pieces?
Okay, so why do we give those cuts on the leg pieces? It is just for the marination to go inside and the heat to penetrate inside, because it's huge at the bottom near the joint and the density is very much. So what happens, the heat takes very long time to go inside, the marination takes very long time to go inside. That is the reason we put those gashes there, so that the marination penetrates, the heat penetrates easily. Okay, as I told you, we will be sharing, I will be sharing this PowerPoint that Chef was showing it to you, and I will also be sharing notes with you as soon as possible, maybe maybe by tomorrow. And the PowerPoint. Okay, Chef, can you run the PowerPoint now? The last few slides. Okay, the lollipop. They are also sometimes called drums of heaven. And this is the breast with a Frenched bone. This is the French drumstick, which is also called ossobuco. And this is the Asian chicken curry cut. And this is stuffed chicken breast. I told you if you stuff it on the side, you will see that the stuffing is come out. But the second stuffing, that the way I showed you, in that the chances of the stuffing coming out are very, very small. This is the carcass of the chicken. If you see the carcass on the top is the one from where the boneless meat has been taken out, and the carcass at the bottom is the one where the boneless meat and the wings, etc., have been removed before cleaning the carcass. Okay, and this is for all of you. If you want the explanation of this, on the left hand side on top you have roast chicken with jus and stuffing. On the right hand side, this small chicken is called spatchcock. It's a very small chicken which is again stuffed and cooked on a grill first and then roasted. And then on the bottom left, you see crumb fried chicken, which you are all used to eating at KFC, etc. And in the center we have, which looks like chasseur. And in the corner on the side we have something which is called fricassee of chicken. On the right hand side you have fricassee of chicken, which is white gravy, white sauce. So this is about the topic and practical of cutting of chicken or poultry, or what we call knife skills on poultry. Right.
Last question: which method is mostly used in international kitchens? Like which kind of
International kitchens mostly saute cuts, okay, because that sells more. But at the same time, they also use wings a lot now. They use Indian style cuts also sometimes, depending on what they are cooking. But mostly the saute cuts are used because they are really good. They have good balance of meat and bone, and they are prime cuts. And at the same time, there is no difficulty in eating any one of them. All right. Any more question? Loved it. I also loved delivering to all of you. You are slowly and steadily becoming my favorite batch. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Nice to deliver this to all of you, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it putting it together for you. And hope to see you soon. Next week, I think. Very soon you will be getting very soon I think you will be getting dissolved into your campus groups, and of course you'll stay stuck. Okay, then all the best. Bye bye, take care, and see you soon.